Now, clearing the hips is extremely beneficial for the golf swing and we should all practice it, but you should never clear the hips like this, because clearing the hips just like this here will result in out to in swing path, slice shots. It will result in shanks big time as well. So if you've been trying to clear the hips and you shank it because of it, this is the reason why. So it's all because you're trying to clear the hips by pushing the right hip forward. I hear this so often with players trying to do this. They're thinking, okay, I want to clear these hips. I'm right-handed. I feel like I can move the right side of my body better. I'm just going to feel like this right hip's moving forward. Now, what happens when you do that? When you have that right hip fire forward, which will rotate your hips, but it's making you closer to the golf ball. So you can see my right heel's driving up, my right knee is moving close to the golf ball. So that means the whole right side of my body has moved more in this direction, and it's also gotten a little bit taller also. So early extension absolutely can happen from this, but the bigger problem, when the whole right side of the body moves closer to the golf ball, the club diverges massively out in front of you. So I could be coming down on a brilliant club path here. But let's say if those hips really open up with that right hip driving forward, now I'm massively out to win. But let's say if we do it more the appropriate time, starting the downswing, that right hip driving forward, now I've got that over the top swing. Because one of the things I always hear with all my rotation videos I put in there, there'll always be someone in the comments say, over the top always gets caused by more rotation. When I rotate it more, I swing over the top. That means this isn't good for you. No, it's just because you're doing it really, really wrong. You can't do it by driving that right hip forward. That's where you can also get into the old Tiger Olay type of move, where the hand path might react and drop. So this can be really quite damaging for you. Let's learn how to do it properly. Okay, to do it properly here, let's look at us at the top of the backswing. Where's our right hip? Should be have moved a little bit back, a little bit deeper. So, okay, now we want this right side here to really remain at that level of depth. So, still behind us here. Like, let's say there was a wall here. We want a pelvis to still be on that wall. So when we're starting that downswing, that pelvis stays on that wall, the right side, but the left side starts to move back. That's the correct moving and opening up, clearing those hips. So, it also prevents you from spinning out overly early as well. So if I can keep that right hip back, but then open up that left side of the body, then I'm clearing it properly. Everything's going on path now. Boom. Now we've got that good rotation. So we need the right side to stay back, but we need that left side to start opening up here. It's the left side that does it, not the right. Might be thinking then, that seems like a lot to think of, both sides of the hips. I agree with you, it is. We don't need to do that. We can have a good drill, of course, to learn to do this properly. So guys, here's the drill. So what I've done, I've got my swing plate here. So it's the swing plate, essentially, alignment stick coming out of a plate. You could just have an alignment stick out the ground or coming out of the basket. So we've got it just behind, really almost just a little bit outside the toe line here, about a fist's distance away from my right knee. So, and it comes out to about where the end of the stick is. It's really in the middle of my stance. That bit doesn't matter too much. We just want it to be in a place where it is definitely in front of this right knee. So here's the bit for this now. If we're a golfer who wants to throw that right hip forward to try and clear the hips, your knee is going to hit this every single time. So the objective of this, don't hit it. That's it. So where we could go about thinking of all different little technical things, make golf really hard for ourselves, really not improve much because of that, or we can just have something here where we just generally try not to hit this with our knee in a downswing, try and keep it so we're moving through, still clearing those hips, but we're more banking that foot because of it. Just doing this will get you there without even thinking that much. So make golf easier, don't make it hard. I know a lot of you try to make golf really hard. The amount of swing thoughts I hear every 20 handicap have them absolutely amazes me. So here we go, little gap there, don't hit it with a knee. Boom. If we look at that swing, look at my hip rotation, looked pretty good, didn't it? So that's where I didn't really need to think about it. I just need to make sure I was not hitting this with my knee. Now, let's say I did want to think about something. I'll be thinking that someone is grabbing my left trouser pocket. Soon as I'm starting a downswing, they're pulling it back. But if I'm doing this drill at the same time, just don't want to hit that with my knee. So if you're someone who really does like swing thoughts, think of someone is grabbing that trouser pocket, pulling it back as soon as you're starting that downswing, but really make sure you're not hitting it with your knee. So we're not talking about putting so much focal point into your back leg that you're not shifting your weight. Still need to do that, but really making sure, clearing those hips, but trying to do that without hitting this. Boom. Great, great drill. This is brilliant for ball striking, brilliant for good footwork. Guys, we can learn the swing in a very simplistic way if we want to. So that's where we can do a brilliant drill, just something like this. Learn to self-organize in a good way, and we'll be playing better golf. So if you enjoyed this video, of course, click that like button if you want more golf instruction just like this. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video. So let's make sure that trail hip is staying back as we're clearing. We'll be playing better golf.